We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity.
We know the air is unfit to breathe and our food is unfit to eat. As if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy.
Silence! The great and powerful Oz knows why you have come.
You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it! My life has value.
You have meddled with the primal forces of nature.
Don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, or what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men with machine minds and machine hearts.
And now, Reality Rants with Jason Bermas.
And who loves you? And who do you love?
Hopefully we are across all streams, but I don't know that X is working. Why is X not working right now? Why are we not live? Oh, this kills me. Let's see if I can change it. Hold on. It seems like I should be able to be on this, but it doesn't look like I am. All right, whatever. We are live for the first time in a very long time independently. I'm going to be taking your questions and comments over at the YouTubans. We can see that going on right now, so get that in there. Let's see if we can go over there. I think it's right here. Hey, guys. Hey, everybody. We are going to go to this in a bit, but there's a lot to talk about, right? And by the way, what up, Flick Off? I want to start, of course, with the Conor McGregor rape trial, all right? I've been talking about this for 5 years, okay? 5 years. Well, in all honesty, it will end up being what? I think 5 years in early January, right? I believe so, because 2019, early 2019, no, actually, it's over 5 years, almost 6. Yeah, literally January 2019, before McGregor even was questioned by the police in Ireland about this brutal, vicious, violent rape. I've been talking about this. And there has been interference throughout. You go look at those early streams, a ton of bot accounts, a ton of defense, a ton of people saying it's not even him, right? Because it was an Irish sports star at first. None of that was true. Now, the interference that's being run now are they're trying to portray this woman whose name is Nikita Hand, who's out there now, whose face is there, as a liar. All right? She was brutally beaten and raped. Okay? And really the only thing that I may have gotten wrong is that it was actually worse than I said. All right? Initially I said that he had done this in front of people. But now this other guy named James Lawrence says that he basically raped her twice because he said he had sex with her. I'm going to play a little bit from Law and Crime, which is one of the few U.S. outlets that has even touched this. CBS News touched it yesterday. I'm going to show you the American media blackout because this is actually a big case out in Europe and the UK. Now there's a ton of bots. And by the way, if you're one of these anonymous coward losers hiding behind an avatar, and what they'll do is they'll try to ask like a relatively like, oh, I don't know what's going on question, but then they have every talking point for the McGregor defense. And he took the stand today. Let me say this right now. I have been 100% vindicated. Let me repeat myself. I have been 100% vindicated, and I will honestly be shocked if this case results in, and not only anything but damages, but really, hopefully, a political movement in Ireland to change their system so that they can actually bring these cases. Because it's 1 in 12 sexual assaults that get convicted that go to a criminal court. One of the big talking points is, oh, why didn't they they said they didn't have enough evidence. This woman is on film after the fact. And I don't care of her falling around. They say maybe she's kissing his arm at one point. I haven't seen the footage, so I don't know. They say they're talking about a victory dance. We'll get into all that stuff in a moment, okay? They showed her inside the ambulance, bruised and beaten. All right? They have talked about the fact that, yes, she had the tampon inside her and it was taken out with forceps. Now, I don't care how drunk you are, how blackout you are, and there are parts of the night this woman clearly doesn't remember. And apparently this is a 3-day bender. And look, I'm sick of this idea that because she drank and did cocaine and was hanging out that any of this is okay. Okay? I used to run a bar. I had 30 people that worked for me. Most of them girls, like 20 plus girls, all attractive. In a lot of the same age range of this woman when this happened. Okay? And, apparently one of these benders starts at like 10 a.m. When you're that age and you're into that happens. I'm not here to be a judge. Now, am I saying it's healthy to put yourself in those situations? Absolutely not. Do you deserve to be brutally beaten and raped multiple times? No. Okay? Now, this woman was brave enough to take the stand, and I want to reiterate this. It was in the media, and we'll actually show you some of this. I'll probably bring up the old thread, my old school thread, where she was offered money 5 years ago and didn't take it. She wanted a criminal case that came up in this case. All right? So again, we're gonna show you some of the out-and-out censorship, because here's going to be the spin, in my opinion. This is and sometimes I shouldn't make these predictions. I don't want to jinx it. Worst case scenario, somehow they don't find judgment. I think they're judging for her. I think the fact that they had the eyewitnesses of the medical professionals that examined her, saying they hadn't seen somebody bruised. I'll read the severely bruised up. Thighs, legs, neck, chest, whole nine. And I'll say this. I was contacted by one of the journalists that is inside the courtroom. They're not allowing filming. Apparently, some photograph got out. Everybody got reprimanded, blah, blah, blah. They're not allowed to say certain things. The Irish Mirror has done phenomenal work on this, and there's another podcast out there, again, done phenomenal work on this. But they're not allowed to give their opinion or even, from what I understand, interpret what they've seen via the CCTV footage being shown. Okay? And really, that's where I think the journalist that contacted me got cold feet, which is unfortunate because if someone's inside and can give me information, of course you will remain anonymous. But I want to know about this victory dance. I want to know how severe the bruising appeared in the CCTV footage. I mean, inside the ambulance where this woman initially is getting examined. But there's no doubt in my mind what this is. Here, period. All right, so now let's do it. Let's go to some of these articles here. All right. So first of all, it's just man. Sorry. By the way, thumbs this up, subscribe, and share if you're new to the channel. If this isn't going out on X, I just why? Why have you done this to me, X? Like, can somebody let me know in the thing whether or not it is? I don't know. Shoot me an Xer. Anyway, we're also going to be talking about InfoWars today and the up-to-date news on that. So here you go. That is the woman right there, Nikita Hand. All right. And, again, she's in her late 20s, early 30s. They're just trying to destroy her credibility. And meanwhile, they cannot, they cannot at all defend the physical and forensic evidence and the evidence. They're trying to present that she lied to her boyfriend after the fact. And, they presented this audio recording of the boyfriend after the fact. And look, from the very beginning, she's telling him she's raped. It's extremely disturbing. Now, I was only able to hear the transcript. All right. So this is there. We also had the AP initially. This all started on election day, by the way. By the way, we might get into the elections. We'll see how far this broadcast goes. That's certainly something I want to talk about as well. I want to talk about my Giuliani interview. For those that haven't seen it, I would encourage you to go check it out. I want to talk about the Menendez brothers. I want to talk about Epstein, everything that's in the thumbnail. We're going to hit on. I promise. But here we go. So if I type in McGregor rape right now into Google, BBC, Independent, RTE, all of it. All of it right here. Okay? All of it. Now we'll go to more news. You seeing this on CNN, Fox News? No. It's all the international media, I guess, is allowed to go crazy. Irish Times, Sky News, Independent, right? United States is almost nowhere to be seen. It's not even on the first page. Let's keep going. There's BBC, and this is specifically McGregor rape. Here we go. McGregor beyond petrified by rape quote. See, this is a new one, 5 hours. This is today on that thing. Beyond petrified by rape questioning. What does that mean? Conor McGregor said he was beyond petrified when he was being interviewed by the Irish police about allegations he had raped a woman in a hotel room. So he's the victim. Okay? He's the victim. That's what's on. That's the first American story you see on here. So when he does get convicted, I think the spin is going to be here that still she was in it for the money, et cetera, all that bullshit. And it's bullshit. And they're gonna try to keep him up. This is sick. All right? Frightened Conor McGregor says, my life is on the line. This is what comes up when you type in those words. Okay? When you just type in Conor McGregor, to the credit, CBS did a story yesterday. Okay? And then it's fight stuff. Okay? And then friend denies. So look, I do think there were witnesses to this. There was it wasn't like she just went back with two guys. It was like a coke party, a hotel coke party. Anybody who does cocaine will tell you they do that sort of thing. All right? So you've got this one here. Oh, it was consensual. The friend didn't want to say anything. This guy pulled out of his last fight hours after this woman's house was literally broken into in a home invasion. And her boyfriend was stabbed in the belly. And we've gone through all those other things. From the model having to jump off the boat and being rescued by the Red Cross, to the fire bombings of cars, et cetera, et cetera. All of it. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. All right? See, so yeah, this is what they want the headlines in the front to be. But this is the reality. Thank you, CBS, for at least having this. Paramedic tells court, very bruised. Very bruised. And by the way, if you're not watching my Patriot.tv show over at Making Sense of the Madness, you should. It's on every day, 5 Eastern, et cetera, et cetera. So, hold on. I got my niece texting me right now, guys. I'm in the middle. When you pick me up after my game, can we go get food and then drop me off at Mom's and she can take me to my back okay. All right, just life stuff. Going to a band concert, whole lot of stuff to do. And that's what it's about. Like, let me just reiterate that. That's what life is about right there. Okay? That's why we stopped the mid-live stream, because my niece matters. Okay? My family matters. And how do I live in a world where a guy like this is not only not punished for what he has done criminally, and he won't be punished criminally for what he's done, which is atrocious and outrageous, okay? But he is celebrated by so many. and ignorantly defended by so many more, because some of the people aren't trolls. Like, you know, I've had some pretty like big alt accounts come after me. And some of them, I'll go like, no, you need to actually look at the thread I send you and all the evidence. And this has been going on for years now. And look, he is a brutal, violent, serial offender. He needs to be in prison. I'm going to calm down for a second. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to calm down. And what we're going to do is we're going to break in to the law and crime piece, just a little bit of the beginning of it, because even they're towing the line quite a bit. But I think that, you know, it's important we check this one out as well, because Dan Abrams, look, at least they're doing something. At least they're reporting on some of it. And the American media ain't doing pieces like this.
Someone took a photo of a live feed that was available for an overflow group, so the people that weren't able to make it into the courtroom. And by the way, this comes after someone also allegedly tried to film the jury earlier in the week. Now, this court case is huge. It's big news worldwide right now as McGregor faces accusations of sexual assault. So, what is this about? Well, a hairstylist named Nikita Han says that Conor McGregor, who is famous around the world for his years spent as a mixed martial artist, raped her in a Dublin hotel room in 2018 after a Christmas party. And also included in this case is a second man named James Lawrence. She claims he also sexually assaulted her that night as well. Now, McGregor was in fact the subject of a criminal investigation, but the director of public prosecutions in Ireland decided in 2020 not to move forward with charges, citing insufficient evidence for a reasonable prospect of conviction. Both men have denied the allegations, reportedly saying that if anything happened, anything was consensual. And last week, the jury heard testimony from Nikita herself about what happened that night. She says she knew McGregor through her friend group and went with him to the Beacon Hotel after a Christmas party at her job, where she admitted that she consumed alcohol, that she did cocaine. And during her testimony, Nikita said that McGregor came on to her, didn't listen when she told him that she was uncomfortable. On the stand, she said, "I tried to talk him around, that I didn't want to have sex and wasn't there for anything like that. He just wasn't taking no for an answer. He pinned me down on the bed. I held my hands to my chest. He put his body weight on top of me." And Nikita says she was sexually assaulted again later by McGregor's friend James Lawrence. The thing about that, though, is she didn't actually remember it happening. Yeah, she claims she only learned of that when she reported the attack to the police at a later date and was told that Lawrence had admitted to having sex with her also on that same night. So obviously there are potential issues of credibility and what really happened. We'll get into that. But I want to talk now about the digital evidence, because the jury saw CCTV footage of Nikita, McGregor, and Lawrence and a friend of Nikita's who'd gone with them to the penthouse. There is apparently video from after the alleged assault when McGregor was getting into the elevator to leave the hotel, and it allegedly shows Nikita appearing to kiss McGregor on the arm. And Nikita said in court that she doesn't remember that. And McGregor's attorneys jumped on that because they also claim that the video at one point shows the two hugging. In separate CCTV footage, Nikita can be seen in the basement of the hotel with James Lawrence. The two were reportedly struggling to stay steady because of how intoxicated they were. But the barrister, the lawyer, said that Nikita at one point kissed Lawrence on the cheek. And at another point, the two reportedly had their arms around each other. Now, Nikita cried in court when the video was played because she said she had no recollection of any of this happening. Now, before she went home that day, Nikita said that she went to her manager's home to drop off the keys to the salon and told her, this manager, that Conor McGregor had raped her. But on cross-examination, McGregor's attorneys really pressed Nikita, asking how she could remember some parts of the night and not other parts of the night. And they wanted to know why she had her friends and family delete any messages related to this incident as well. Nikita says that she was just scared of McGregor. She believed that he would kill her if news of the alleged assault got out. On rebuttal, her own attorney showed her photos of the outfit that she was wearing that night, which had been torn, or apparently had been torn. And she said the tear was from McGregor pulling aggressively on that jumpsuit. According to testimony, testimony in court, Nikita told multiple people that she had been raped, but refused to name who it was. Now, as we're sorting through this legal case surrounding Conor McGregor, and it is so disturbing, can I just take, I don't know, a minute to tell you guys about something else, something positive, something that I think you're actually going to really love? Would you want cash back when you buy gas, groceries, food? Well, if you do, that's where our amazing partner, she was having other parenting. She told that woman Upside. So Upside is a app, so easy to test, paramedic app, so easy to use. Now court resumed.
Well, my jackassery knows no bounds. I realize I was muted for that time period, and I hope I didn't lose everybody. And then we go to an Upside app. Again, I haven't streamed in a while. We got some bugs. And by the way, it's a great reason to donate. We're back to one show on one network. Very difficult out there. I'm hoping to do more of these streams that interact with you, and we're going to do that after this McGregor segment before we start talking about InfoWars, etc. But I do want to reiterate that I have heard absolutely nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, that dissuades me from the physical evidence in this case. At all. Zero. Zip. Zilch. I want to put that out there. If you want, and I want to see the CCTV camera footage, but I guarantee you, if you look at that, she is going to be all over the place. She's going to be stumbling. She's going to be almost blackout, if not blackout, etc. So you ask if this woman could have even given consent if she didn't say no, which she obviously did many times. I mean, when you look at the injuries on this woman, it is crazy to think that anything that occurred there sexually was consensual. I just putting that out there.
On Tuesday with a testimony from a paramedic, and he said that a woman was very distressed, meaning Nikita, and that she had physical markings on her. She told the paramedic that she had been sexually assaulted, and on the way to the hospital, he testified she had a panic attack. And the jury saw video from inside that ambulance as Nikita was taken to the hospital. Nikita herself actually had to leave the courtroom as the video was being played. Her attorney pointed out that when the paramedic examined the lower half of Nikita's body, there was obvious bruising on her thighs. Another paramedic took the stand, testified that she examined Nikita and also saw bruising on her chest, around her neck, down her legs. She had said that she, quote, hadn't seen someone so bruised in a long time. And more than a week after the alleged attack, Nikita went to her regular doctor, Emma Quinn, and Dr. Quinn testified that Nikita told her that she had been assaulted and said she was having pain in her neck. Dr. Quinn said it was likely that Nikita had internal bruising consistent with being forcibly held down. Another doctor at the same practice who had known Nikita since she was a child said that she had dealt with anxiety in the past, and then after this alleged incident, this alleged attack, she couldn't go to work because her anxiety and depression were getting worse and worse. He even claimed that she was struggling with PTSD. Now, on the other hand, a representative for Conor McGregor has maintained his innocence, saying in a statement, after an exhaustive investigation conducted by the police, which in addition to interviews of the plaintiff included interviewing numerous sources, obtaining witness statements, examining closed-circuit footage, and the cooperation of Conor McGregor, these allegations were categorically rejected.
That's not true. It was not categorically rejected. Oh, yeah, you know, now's a good time. Now is actually a very good time to just go to the thread, and then we will get to your questions and comments. So get them in there, and we're going to talk about InfoWars and a number of other things. Okay? But the truth of the matter is that all the evidence shows what happened to this woman. Now, not some of the evidence, all the evidence. All right? All of it. Like, yes, they were on drugs and alcohol. Yes, she resisted. Yes, she was physically beaten up. But when I say it, whatever. When the police source that was inside the investigation says it anonymously about an Irish sports star, everybody ignores it. What do we got here? We got a little message. I wonder. I was hoping. Nope. I was hoping it was a good one. It's not. It's killing me that I can't find this right now. Let's see if we can do it. Let's see if we can do it live. Bermas, McGregor, all evidence Let's see. No, we just can't do it. I mean, I'm just going to go back to this, and we're going to pull it up. All right. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Not on my A game today, guys. Not on my A game.
Plaintiff knows the facts contradict the assertions in this lawsuit. Mr. McGregor will dispute any claims and is confident that justice will prevail. So let's talk about this. Let's make sense of it. I want to bring in attorney Krista Ramey, who has a specialization in these kinds of cases. Krista, thanks so much for coming on. Now, remember, this is a civil case. This is not a criminal case, civil case. Sensation, but a lot of evidence is coming in, a lot of testimonies coming in. What stands out to you?
Well, it was a couple of things. One, I'm grateful that in the U.S. we have rape shield laws that protect victims so they aren't victim shamed to this extent. I think that the way the evidence is coming in here, particularly how she was drinking and the cocaine use, it would have been handled much differently in a U.S. court.
Well, before you move on, how would it have been handled differently? Because any defendant has a right to defend himself and question her credibility.
Here in California, evidence of intoxication cannot be put on by the person defending the claim against the rape. It can only be brought on by the victim as evidence of consent. So here, the evidence that she had been partying with these two gentlemen voluntarily, doing cocaine and alcohol all evening, probably wouldn't have come in unless it was brought in specifically by her, or evidence that she could not consent because she was so intoxicated.
Sure. And correct me if I'm wrong, couldn't it have come in to say about her recollection, her memory?
If it's brought in by her.
If it's brought in by her.
Only
Okay. So that's the difference. That's the difference between both jurisdictions. Yeah. Correct.
And so just like victims' past sexual conduct cannot be brought in as evidence of consent by the defense in a rape case, similar to that. But what does stand out to me is, despite the closed caption television footage, you have all of this corroborating evidence of something that was very violent that happened to her. And with the defense saying, but she wanted it. That's what she signed up for. So I think that because you have this really graphic evidence of what can only be a sexual assault, with bruising, with having to remove a feminine hygiene project with forceps, horrific to think what she went through. And you can imagine it. And then the closed caption footage shows her stumbling, maybe kissing McGregor, but I don't know that it really tells the complete story. You have to look at all of the evidence. And I think all of the evidence here tells you a story of something that very violent that happened that night.
Look, bingo. There's a little bit more to that, but I was able to find the thread. And it's funny, I was able to find it on the post where I was blocked after Danny Polishchuk had reposted me on his show talking about McGregor being what he is. Okay? So now I want everybody to read this really quickly. All right? Because at the end of the day, there is no doubt this young lady suffered a horrendous ordeal. The examinations and all of the evidence shows that she was raped and very badly assaulted in the penthouse suite. Okay? All of it, not some of it. Okay? Police say all the evidence shows the mother was raped and very badly assaulted. They know. Don't give me that bull snap that the police don't know. They couldn't. They listen. Look how corrupt this is. Go all the way down the line on this thread. Go all the way down the line on this thread. Again, she was offered money. Okay, she's offered money. She didn't take the money. No one took the money. She didn't want money. She wanted him to go to prison. Flatly rejected it 5 years ago. Oh, and then the people that'll, like, first of all, they'll say that source isn't real, right? But then they'll say, oh, she wanted more. Here's the sick part. First of all, most women don't even come forward. They don't even come forward. 1 in 12, 8%. 8%. That's the reality here. 8%. Not 1 in 10 result in convictions in that country. Disgusted. People coming in, who don't know what they're talking about. They're not even trolls. Coming in telling me how, McGregor starts standing up and this is what happens. No. This has been happening for years. Okay? Open your eyes. All right. Said I would take you, and we're going to talk about InfoWars because that's really important. By the way, shout out to InfoWars. Shout out to Alex Jones. Shout out to the whole crew, Harrison, Owen, all of them. Here's the deal. I'm extremely proud to be part of that outfit. The last time I checked, there was actually a court hearing going on the auction, which wasn't really an auction apparently. We'll see what happens with this court hearing. But allegedly, the trustee was allowed to. First of all, it was a silent auction where you couldn't bid against another higher bid, so it wasn't an open auction, and everything was sealed. Okay, it's very odd. But then all of a sudden, they said you didn't necessarily have to take the highest bid. You could just take the best bid. That's even more odd. And then the Onion supposedly buys it. How long? I mean, the Onion's not even really relevant as a parody site. Really, the Babylon Bee overtook that because it was more based in reality. Okay? It's kind of weird that parody sites do that. And apparently, they didn't even have the money that they put up. They put it up on the credit of Jones and what he owed to these families. So odd. Let's see. All right, so let's go down the line. Flick off. How we doing, bro? My question is, if you see early one is, did you directly ask Jones about his call with Q? I haven't directly asked Jones anything that you haven't seen. I haven't privately talked to Alex Jones in years, over a decade probably, right? Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know. Yeah, probably over a decade. Have we privately discussed anything? Anything you've seen me talk about to Alex has been on air, my friend. And when I think he talks about like the Q thing and his call with Q, I think he's talking about like Brower and Microchip, but probably Brower. That's James Brower. That's Dreamcatcher, who originally started it and then was part of like that MAGA X crowd of social media influencers. Because, and whether DeFango is part, I don't think that he was on the phone with DeFango, but Jack Posobiec knew Brower. Jack Posobiec broke the story about Microchip. Okay? Everybody needs to get that through their head. That's really where it all started. All right, and a lot of that stuff was amplified through, like, again, a crowd of social media people that also had a bunch of sock accounts, etc. They were gaming the system. I mean, I would imagine that would be the phone call that he had. But I've never talked to him about it, so I have no idea. But because of the connection to Posobiec, I would imagine that's it. Like I said, that Microchip Posobiec group. There we go. Hey, Jason, do you make documentaries? No, not really. I should be making documentaries, but again, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And I ain't here to make, I never got into this to be a millionaire. And quite frankly, I don't love any kind of fame. Be honest with you. I find it very awkward. I appreciate it when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, thank you. Or, sometimes I'll have a beer with somebody. I'm not saying that, but I don't want to be famous. I can only imagine how uncomfortable I would be if I was like even more remotely more famous. No, thank you. But at the same time, I love what I do. I think that I have really great conversations with people. I think that as an independent journalist, I speak about things nobody else does. Right? So I think that's important. And you know what? Since we're talking about loose change, those guys are making fictional films now out in New York. And Dylan Avery was one of the first people that I contacted when I found out that I was going to be interviewing Rudy Giuliani. I texted him, I called him, called me back, and we kind of just like discussed it. I called him after the fact because I wanted to make sure I had the interview in the bag. But I had less than 24 hours notice on that. I knew he was coming on about the book. In some regards, Giuliani's got a GoFundMe or whatever going on, Give, Send, Go, something, because he doesn't have any money. They froze his accounts. This guy used to be the mayor in New York City. Just like Trump, they ended up coming for this guy. He's imperfect for sure, but he was willing to talk to me. And we talked about 9/11. I was able to slip it in through, in the very beginning of the interview through Biden and his association with the Pakistani ISI and General Mahmoud Ahmed. And by the end of the interview, Giuliani was I asked him straight up about Building 7, and that's where I want to go with this, by the way. He towed the line on air about Building 7, but he admitted that his city corporation counsel was in the building when it was blown up, Michael Hess. Now, he wasn't really aware of Barry Jennings. I doubt he was even aware of the Barry Jennings story and the fact that I had published that interview at all. I don't think he had any idea. Maybe he's seen it, maybe he hasn't. Now, at first, when he's talking about loss of life, he says no loss, but then he changed a little. He goes, or almost no loss of life. So right there, he kind of admitted people died in Building 7. He gave that window. Then when he talked about Building 7, he also talked about the Central Intelligence Agency and the Secret Service being in the building and the documents that they got. So I'm a man of my word when I say we're done recording. I stopped recording. And he was, again, very friendly. He called it a great interview. I actually cut a little bit of our conversation off as I trailed off with him. Because he said he'd come back on the show. But I stopped recording and I said, Mr. Giuliani, you don't think they demoed that building? And he goes, I don't, because of all the documents. He goes, if they were trying to destroy evidence, that's a different story. And he goes, at this point, he goes, so many of the conspiracy theories have come true that I don't dismiss them at all. And I go, well, I hope that you'll come back on my show and talk about that. And he goes, I'd be happy to. What else can you say? Like, it's surreal to me that that interview even happened. And I mean, I know there were some people that were pissed at me or something about that interview, but I'm not sure what they expected, right? Like, first of all, I always try to find a point of agreement before a point of contention. I challenged him immediately on the idea that Biden could be prosecuted and why not, which he also agreed with me on. I thought it was a great interaction and one that will probably lead to more interactions. And look, that's what I'm about. I want to talk to people. Is that crazy? Doesn't mean I necessarily believe them. But again, they get a voice. All right, let's keep going down the line. Let's thumbs it up, subscribe, and share, everybody. Again, first live stream in a while. Because that's what we do. We're styling here. That's what we're doing. I wonder what, in fact, happened with the whole X splitting thing. Just very, very odd that we didn't get to do that. I'm sorry. I'm breaking it up. Let's keep going here. What are your thoughts on Trump's cabinet? Mixed feelings, obviously. Not a fan of Marco Rubio. The Musker nuts, everybody knows how I feel about old Musker do. In fact, if you're watching Making Sense of the Madness or you've seen my presentations, he's saying a lot of the right things, influencing a lot of the right things. Department of Government Efficiency, this new thing, oversight, Ramaswamy being in that, okay, kind of. I mean, I almost wanted to see Ramaswamy actually in the administration, but like if they can actually cut a lot of the bureaucracies, that'd be great. If they just remold it into kind of like this automation, biomedical, techno, military industrial complex, I think we're in trouble. How about that? Huckabee as an ambassador to Israel, all that seems kind of dangerous, right? A lot of pro-Israel guys, Secretary of Defense, Hagsworth. I like Kristi Noem as the Department of Homeland Security. I think if you're going to put somebody there, I think that all of a sudden the border issue is a totally different issue, which is great. Who else has been announced? I'm trying to think if there are a few other announcements I'm probably missing at this point. If he lets RFK Jr. do his thing, I'm very happy about that. We'll see. We'll see if these things get reined in. We'll see if these wars actually end, right? I want to see a resolution to not only Ukraine, Russia, but what's going on in the Middle East. I'm not into provoking Iran, etc. So we'll see. I think we should be as skeptical as always, right? Like I said this from the very beginning. First things first, get him elected. Second thing, get him inaugurated. Third thing, hold him true to some of the things that he's actually said. Whether that's it. And no, I've not seen Alien Romulus yet. Maybe I should check it out. I've heard mixed reviews, but then again, I just don't see a lot of anything anymore. Let's see. I feel like I haven't heard the intro in a while. Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. Bermas Brigade firing up a blunt, sir. Good for you, mister. Thank you, sir. Again, please check me out across, Rumble, Rockfin's still there. Some challenges going on over on the Rockfin platform. And that's the thing. I've got to start posting again to Podbean. I haven't done that probably well over a year. It's crazy. But it becomes more and more difficult as life gets more and more complicated. I'll tell you what, Alex Jones, let's see what happens with InfoWars. I don't know that it's said and done. Certainly after this broadcast, if anybody has an update, they can put it in there. But I am interested to see where it goes. Already, he's on the air. He's on all the radio stations through his new Alex Jones network. The Tuckins is bigger than ever on social media, period. So when you look at this legacy media, in a lot of ways, it's a big jokey jokerton. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. Hello from the Netherlands. I'm on 5 days a week, Jan. I just haven't, I need to post a lot of those episodes from the last couple weeks. I haven't posted in a while because I've been very busy. But 5 days a week, over at patriot.tv, MSO. In fact, my show starts in 3 minutes. Actually, today's show, if you do want to, unfortunately, put this one on pause and check out today's show, although they usually post it on the patriot.tv Rumble after the fact. So if you missed this week's, there's a lot of good ones. But today's show, we got Stuart J. Hooper talking Israel, talking Ukraine, talking the Trump administration, actually, in depth, and him giving even more insight than I can. He is done with his PhD. He's about to be one. Academic, very smart gentleman. And then I had the Based Mother on. She's got a new one, Groomers in America. GroomersInAmericaFilm.com is the website where you can watch it for free, new documentary. And I had a really great chat with her. And I introduced her, because she's a big thing with this transgender ideology and the sexualization of children. I had to really explain to her how it ends up into transhumanism as well. And she was like, that makes a lot of sense. So really great meeting her. That's what you want. I want to have conversations with people I normally wouldn't. Okay? I want to make connections with other human beings. I love that. Yeah, I don't like the Marco Rubio pick. F Rubio. And that's a Secretary of State is a big deal. Is mixed martial mindset over? I hope not. I just, again, my schedule has been weird. I wish TNT didn't go under. I wish I was still doing another 2 hours, 3 hours a day, 2 hours live a day with them. They're trying to put the guys that started that, they're trying to put something new together. I don't know if that's going to happen. It's very hard with these independent media outlets, period. But John, just so everybody knows, if you do want to check out something cool that John and I did, our entire broadcast, which is several hours long, via Caged Aggression, night 2, from, just about a month ago. Just a little over a month ago, because we did it on Friday and Saturday. John Fitch and I called fights for Caged Aggression. They were awesome fights. I had an awesome time with John Fitch. So type in Caged Aggression. Please go check it out. And you can see me and Fitch together again for the very first time. We had a blast. And we're having a 3-night event coming up in March. I would imagine Fitch is going to be part of that event again. So very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Let's go. Let's do it. It has been a bit, no doubt about it, guys. So much for Trump's being anti-war. Listen, let's hope he reins it in. Let's hope he reins it in. I don't know. I'm not judging yet. Okay? What up? One of the only ones to talk about the rape hound. Yes. This is why people will never hear you on JRE. No way that Rogan doesn't know about this. Oh, 100%. And that's fine with me. I like Joe Rogan. I think he's a nice guy. I got to see my very first UFC live in person with great seats because of Joe Rogan and Alex Jones. And it was great. And thank you. Like, look, and that's why I'll probably never be, a UFC announcer. I'm never going to be top dog, guys. I don't want to be top dog. I'll be fine with my semi-underground status as long as the information gets out there, as long as we can direct this world, because it's not just my country, it's not just the culture, it's humanity itself and everything that surrounds us. In a better direction overall, I will be satisfied. And quite frankly, I'm glad that it might have a wide berth. What I'm most worried, I'm most worried about my nieces, right? Most worried about my brother and his kids and my family and those type of things. And quite frankly, I'm glad the economy is boosting, Bitcoin through the roof. In fact, one of the next things I got to do is I got to put my Ethereum and Bitcoin address in there underneath or in the descriptions. Maybe we'll do that right after this broadcast. But yeah, I just got to find a way to keep moving and grooving. Maybe we do have to do a daily morning show again. It was heartbreaking when I wasn't working for RVM anymore. Loved Red Voice Media. Think about that. Like Red Voice Media, Today's News Talk, they're by the wayside. I hope Patriot.tv survives. They may not. I'm going to be very honest with you. The alternative media is a tough place, one. And it is an even tougher place when you employ Jason Bermas, who doesn't make it about left or right and always makes it about right and wrong. All right? A lot of people, and you know what? I'm going to be honest. Be honest with people. And this wasn't me holding back before. But the guy who books my shows, when he booked Rudy Giuliani and let me know, he specifically asked me not to bring up 9/11 on air and to maybe talk to him about it off air and coming on about it separately. And I flat out said no. I said I can't guarantee that. And quite frankly, I don't know how I don't bring up 9/11. And if you saw me on the Union of the Unwanted, by the way, Union of the Unwanted this week, I went on a little McGregor tirade. I should probably post that around too. Rumble's going to be the place. Like YouTube, I can't even post everything. Like I can't post, I think, last week's Union of the Unwanted on this. I think there's just too much V talk, little boobity boop talk. So Rumble's really where it's at. If you're not subscribed to me on Rumble, and a lot of you aren't, I've got 70,000 here. I think I got a little over 20,000 there. I don't promote it nearly enough. Please go to Rumble, where we're also live streaming right now, and sign up. And ring all the bells. Everything, guys. I feel so sorry for Alex. Alex is going to be all right. Yep. The dirty hapist indeed. Mayweather must be behind. Nope. Nothing to do with Mayweather. What do you think about Vance being backed by Peter Thiel? Hate it. Let's see. Not all anonymous people are like that. Well, I'll get in there in a second. Flick. You're right. There's some people. Listen, that we'll get there in a second. Let me answer Ryan here. Peter Thiel, as far as being the pick or being behind Vance. Look, Vance on media, on like the Tim Dillon podcast, on Rogan, he's slick, very likable. Same time, he's been to Bilderberg. He is a Thiel acolyte. It's dangerous, right? And I watched Thiel on Rogan. Could be dangerous. I don't trust Peter Thiel. Now, Flick, as far as the anonymous losers hiding behind Avatar's comment, that's where you're not in good faith, where you're there to troll, where you may not believe what you say, you, who have your own little avatar and persona, I think have always discussed things in good faith, even when disagreeing with me. You're not here to troll and put out every talking point of the opposition, no matter how absurd, or how to spam interference. So many of these accounts will comment multiple times on my timeline with the same exact thing, with the same exact talking points. They won't, they're not in good faith. That's all I mean by that, my friend. That's all I mean. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back, not from the show, but of taking your questions and comments. Can we get 100 thumbs up, by the way, in a moment? But, I had one of these troll people come in and say, you're not reporting this. You're hiding it. And it's just, again, this was just prior to the election. Listen to the Jeffrey Epstein tapes. I was Donald Trump's closest friend. Very well might have been. They definitely seem to be close friends. I've never denied that. I've talked about this all the time. It doesn't seem like they have anything on Trump via pedophilia. And, Trump wasn't into drugs. He was just into women. All right? Trump doesn't seem to be into transhumanism or even kind of grasp that concept. So there are certain things he was on the outs with. Now, there's this audio, and I guess we're just going to play it from Michael Wolff's Fire and Fury. Supposedly there's like hundreds of hours of audio. I haven't heard hundreds of hours. All I've seen is this, which is 2 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's bring it all the way back. It's all the way back. And we're going to play it. A lot of it is garbledy-gook. None of it is new to me. I've been a critic of Trump for saying he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. Not cool. Not cool. So let's just play this and get it out of the way, and you decide whether any of this is news to you about Trump and Epstein's relationship.
So how do you know this?
That was closest friend.
So I need the Donald. Just give me Donald.
First, it's fun. So you probably know he had a scalp reduction. Because he had the same male pattern movement that we all have. He had his scalp moved from hysterical. Donald's office, as you know, he made that. He used to be on the phone with that fake PR person. I also found it funny. I was sitting there listening to the guys from the Post talk and Donald.
By the way, he was just talking about scalp reduction. Like, that's what you got on Donald Trump? He's got scalp. We know he's got a crazy comb over. Anybody that watched the footage that we went over of the assassination attempt saw his crazy hairdo go away like Ernie McCracken. All right? So you got scalp reduction. That's the big hot Epstein tape. Okay.
He'd say, he's a great guy. I loved working with him. And I sit there going, this is just amazing. And he'd say, Michael, come on, let's go to the office. And he'd say, tell me, what's it like in there? He'd say, you like having sex with your wife? How often do you have? He'd say, it's great. Seriously, Michael, how often do you have sex? Don't you want the trouble? You and I can go upstairs, or tomorrow come over. There's this girl's coming in from Los Angeles, part of the Hawaiian Tropic So come over at 3 o'clock. You're going to have a great time. I promise you, Michael, it's just me and you. You're going to have a great time. Be up here at 3 o'clock. We can go upstairs. The whole time, the attorney's been on the phone listening. He set it up because he wants a story. So he has you on, because as an avoid conversation.
So here's where the whatever's going on. So Donald Trump wanted to have sex with somebody that wasn't his wife. Again, I was never one of those people that told you he didn't bang Stormy Daniels, was I? Like, where's the story here? But here, listen, if you got the volume jacked up, watch out. Here it comes. Like, this is like, again, any of this bombshell to you?
He had a really You must have had a better wife, right? I said, yes. Tell me about it. And the wife's on the speakerphone, listening to Donald and said, I know I think you're really hot. And I know you think you're a guy. Michael is like the end of the world, the best guy on earth. You will be married to him. You're wrong. Just listen to the next 20 minutes. And the only thing you will up is set you up.
Okay. Anything? Bueller? Want to talk about really quickly the Menendez brothers, and we're going to go to your questions and comments again. There's actually a new DA, not George Gascon, and I'm not a fan of George Gascon by any way, but this guy, Nathan Hochman, is now taking back the idea that maybe the Menendez brothers have served enough time for the killing of their parents. First, there was this fictional drama on Netflix that went wild that apparently completely misrepresented the situation. Then there was a documentary that really made people aware that it did look like they were telling the truth about being sexually abused by their father and the mother enabling in it, and other people coming forward about the father abusing them, specifically a member of Menudo. This guy was like a high-level music executive. So, I was going to do a whole bunch on the Menendez and Menudo connection. I think a lot of people are more and more aware of that now. And quite frankly, look, Lord knows what these people became after and during the abuse that they suffered. And Lord knows what they are now after all these years of incarceration. It's just kind of like I'm just glad I never had to go through any of that at all. So let's do it. Let's keep going down here. You are literally the only person I know that's been a bloodhound on Conor, but that's why I followed you since 9/11. Thank you. Why do you think MMA media are ignoring this on social media? Barely touching it. I saw Ariel Helwani do something yesterday, but I couldn't watch it because I can only imagine how watered down it was going to be. He actually, when he interviewed Conor McGregor before the Cowboy fight, brought it up, and all in good time, Ariel. Oh, I've shown it in videos I did years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. Okay. I think again they're going to spin it. Listen, I don't believe he's getting off on this one, guys. I think he's losing in the civil case for sure. The forensic evidence is just too damn overwhelming. I don't know how they convince a jury that any of that was consensual, no matter what they show, period. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that they're going to spin it that, some gold digger got through and now everybody's going to line up and, it's already really disgusting. And by the way, one of the big reasons it's all being ignored, powerhouses, Disney owns ESPN in business with the UFC. And UFC right now, it's in their best interest. They're negotiating their new TV deals. WME Entertainment, Ari Emanuel, you name it. You name it. Bermas, we need Jason on Joe Rogan. Hey, what's up, Nepal? That is why women do not report it. I've seen Jason talk to Tim Dillon, Sam Tripoli, and probably some others. Maybe one of them could connect JB to Rogan. He's never fighting again. No, never. That criminal is running for political office. Let's hope not. I agree. He's never fighting again unless he does some trash boxing like Jake Paul. Yeah, he might do that. But I would hope that he's just in prison and can't do that. Prison. That's what we want, is prison. Unfortunately, this is not a criminal trial. She wanted a criminal trial. I would like to know how many more Florida widows robbed and smothered by serial killers were added from over 70 women scrubbed from Google. Sheriffs were looking for more victims. Know anything about that? Send me some information. Yes, there's the no sound. Oh, you're muted. No sound. See, everybody chimes in that. Everybody chiming in when there's no sound. God bless. Oh, that's a big jump. There we go. There we go. All right. There we go. We got it back together. Hello from Mexico City. Watching InfoWars right now on the Alex Jones Network. That's right. Orange here is a left-wing weasel fed up of bashing reps and Magans. Okay. Cool. Brandon Herrera for ATF director. Wish you'd make me a chat mod, Jason, just to see the salty fanboy messages getting held for review. What salty fanboy messages? Here, we'll make you one right now. Add as moderator. Can review and remove chat messages and hide or put persons. Can manage blocked words. Oh, there's blocked words and stuff. And also that has capability of standard moderator. So that's an extra one, managing. Let's just go with standard. I didn't even know there were words that are blocked in here. I certainly didn't set that up, everybody. But there you are. You're a mod now. Alex Jones for White House press secretary. Don Jr. joked about that. Yes, he did. Do you find it strange you haven't spoken off air? Not really. He's a busy guy. Like, look, even when I was around Alex Jones a decade and a half ago, his phone was always blowing up. Maybe if I lived in that area and we were like hanging out, then I would find it weird. Or if I was working there, then I would find it weird. Believe me, when we worked together, the amount of time we talked on the phone was almost overwhelming to me. Just gonna leave it at that. Like for me, when I was running the bar before I came back into this mix, the less I talked to my bosses, the better. Only because they weren't on site. Very different business. But when you do mix like the business aspect with the friendship, and you're in that area, you're on the phone with that person all the time. Just saying. We'll always remember Alex cursing out Trump when he bombed Syria. Yeah. The Palpatine-looking mother trucker with Mattis. I love that rant. I think I tweeted about that when it happened. I said, this is the Alex Jones I love. Yep. Alex Jones cursing Trump stopped a war. That is why I was targeted. Let's see. My biggest qualm with Rogan is the fact he talks about McGregor like he is a superstar and not a rapist criminal. Certainly don't love that. Certainly. By the way, maybe I should bring that up. Dana White was on Two Bears, One Cave, talking up McGregor, talking about how smart he was. And then the next breath, he starts talking about the fact that, you know what my job is? He goes, my job is to make sure you don't know who the bad guys are. And he goes, there are some really bad dudes in this sport. And he goes, my job is to make sure you don't know who they are. So I don't know whether that was like a Freudian slip, but if you've watched that Two Bears, One Cave podcast, I can assure you that is actually what was said. I'm not exaggerating it. It was actually, that's probably a clip I've got to get at the end of the day when we do this. Like total McGregor, you're a rapist bastard program. Just saying. That's it. Hashtag Bermas Brigade. Do you think they are looking for immortality? Do you think they are cloning humans? Well, I think that it's pretty obvious. What do you mean? Do I think Calico Labs exists? It's not. I don't think anything. Like it's out in the open. What are you talking about? Like I'm sorry. Like are we not aware? Are we new here? We might be. And if you are, just go through it. Like you can type in Calico Labs and. I mean, this is just one small aspect of it for sure, but it's right out there. This is Google's immortality division. We're tackling aging, one of life's greatest mysteries. We're talking about not just, living forever, but de-aging. So, yeah, I mean, it's out in the open. Not sure. I mean, yeah. And as far as cloning humans, I think a lot of people really get what cloning humans means. Are they cloning humans? When I say they, the human species, 100%. 100%, but they're not cloning humans like when you see they clone Tyrone. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, I think it is. One of the few movies I think I watched this year where they have like these gestation tanks and you can clone a full adult human being. No. When you're talking about actual cloning humans, you could take a person and then recreate that person to be born and then grow up. And that's it, as far as I know. I've had people talking to me about artificial wombs and these all all these other type of things. Look, we've been cloning mammals for a long time, openly. So as far as like cloning a human being in that manner, yes. Now, does the same soul incorporate that human being? No, I think we have souls. I think something else different is going on there. Is the genetic imprint of nature in that human being? Yes. Yes. So like the Sixth Day kind of scenario with Arnold Schwarzenegger, no mas, not even close. The reality of like if the technology were commercially available, because I do believe it exists, I could clone myself and raise me. How's that? How's that sound to you? All right, let's keep going. The man is so evil. Could you smell sulfur through the screen? Oh, Flick. Chatting about lying and Zionists will get your comment deleted. Ha ha. Brandon Herrera for ATF director. Is that the second time we've seen that? Okay. There's only so much women can take after having survived such a brutal attack. This is not something you can just put aside after a few weeks. I hope she is getting professional help. I mean, the PTSD thing I think is for real. Elon is a snake. So many MAGA and not, or MEGA and not pure MAGA, whatever that means. Oh, that's make Israel great again. Tulsi and Gates. Yes, there we go. Those are two appointments that I'm actually very happy about, right? I'm very, very, very happy about both Tulsi and Gates. I don't know that Gates actually gets in as Attorney General. I think the fact that he had those liaisons with escorts, one of which was supposedly 17. I'll be honest, I have not dived deep into that to see, whether or not there was an underage sexual encounter, whether there was or not. First of all, if there was, let's not be hypocrites here, but if it was something with an 18-year-old and all these other things and whatnot, I don't really care. And I know that's going to be a fine line for some people, but again, legal age of consent, whatever. Let's see if he can get in, how effective he can actually be. He was one of the few people that was calling a spade post-COVID 1984 during the Russian collusion. He's a bit of a war hawk, right? But not so much so that he thinks the Ukraine war is good, right? I think that he realizes, peace should be on the table as much as possible, hopefully. What do you think Trump should do? What do you mean? I think a lot of those are bad. I think that he should step in and just defund Ukraine, leave NATO, get out of the United Nations, rework our Five Eyes alliance, stabilize the Middle East, put some restrictions on Israel, right? Like if I had my way, you wouldn't have Palestinians in an open air prison, right? Like reality is going to tell you and dictate that Israel's going to do what Israel's going to do. And there's certain limitations to that, unfortunately. It's just the geopolitical spectrum. I'm not saying it's the correct one, right? And I think that's why Trump was the obvious choice no matter what in this election regarding foreign policy. At least part of the reason, right? Because, look, he loves Bibb. Bibi and Pompeo are great, but at the same time, it's great that Nikki Haley and Pompeo aren't going to be a part of this administration. So, a lot going on there. Do I think the IRS will be abolished? I wish. I think that was a lot of rhetoric. I think it was good rhetoric. I think it was smart rhetoric. I think it should be. But, hey. Hey-oh. Trump's picks point heavily to more drama in South America and more migrants for the states. Possibly. Let's see. We got a message retracted. Can I view the retracted message? I don't think I can. Nope. Okay. 1.5 million. What's that? Wait, right? Let's see. Alex Jones for White House press secretary. Make them scream. 1.5 million on Twitter. Alex Jones. Pitch is probably off the grid. No, he's not off the grid. He's still doing his jam. You can check him out over on his YouTube channel for sure. Instagram, all that stuff. Okay. Would you collab with Jay Dyer again? Of course I would. And I'm getting some kind of incoming phone call from Oregon that we're just not going to answer. Let's just boop. Let's boopity boop that. See if they're going to leave a message. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, is that my buddy? Is that who's calling me from a weird number? That's odd that I got that text. I sent Ground Zero with Clyde Lewis your way. They're looking for someone tonight to talk Cop 29. Oh, that's what that was. So that was an interview request. Can't. Kids concert. Hold on, sorry. I'm doing all this on air. And it's late. And currently on air. Thumbs it up, subscribe, and share. Air at the moment. Boom. Let's see. So maybe I can. I don't know. I don't know what his time is. I love. Oh, let's see. Jeez. JJ, yes, Jason. Would you collab? Yes, I said I'd collab with them. You're going back on Quite Frankly soon? I hope so. I was just on there like a month ago, maybe 2 months ago. Prior to the election, sure. But yes, I've been on Quite Frankly. I love Frank. I need to have him on my show. I honestly think you, Jay Dyer, and Richard Grove are the best we got. Well, thank you. I love Richard Andrew Grove. No money for Cop 29 climate change buttheads. That's funny. That's what this was going to be. Are you sure about Trump being best friends with that entrapment expert? They were definitely buddies. I mean, they flew on each other's planes. They're neighbors. They're on videos together. He wished Ghislaine Maxwell well. What do you want me to say? I think they were buddies. I mean, what's a best friend? Like, my brother's my best friend. But, one of my best friends just died recently. And God bless you, James. I miss you more and more every single day. I think about you all the time. I was just that's what I was in New York for a couple weeks back. And, it's not like we saw each other every day. Listen, I think they had a very friendly relationship. Let's just leave it at that. I agree with Vite. This has been been great. The night Miss JB off the cuff shows. Oh, thank you guys. I've got to do it again. Let's see where it is. I got to find it because I don't even know where it is. I don't know. But again, the links are down below to support me. Buy me a coffee. Great way to do it. The PayPal. Great way to do it. I got to get some crypto links in there. Hopefully, I'm going to be doing way more of these broadcasts. We've been going over an hour today. Usually, they're going to be a lot more compact. Let's say, oh, it is late. Maybe I can. Maybe I can do it. I don't know. Maybe I can. I don't know. I'm on the air. We'll talk soon. 9 Pacific. So it's midnight tonight. Maybe. I don't know if I want to do any broadcasts midnight tonight. I don't know. Maybe I should do Ground Zero. Wait, leave some commentary and tell me whether I should do it. All right, let's keep going down here. Let's try to get through this. And by the way, what I really need to do is start reposting all the great interviews I've done. Let's see. I, like most men, want to grab them by the but I control myself and I am not a superstar. So the women will not allow that. Menudo! Weren't we from that island of garbage? Jeez. Let's see. I'm not a fan of women. They are too promiscuous. Okay. I mean, I like women. I don't think that's changing anytime soon, everybody. If there were a religion you would be interested in, which one would it be? I mean, I'm not. I'll tell you what, I'm very happy. My niece that I'm going to be picking up after this for her basketball game and then going to band or whatever later on this evening. She just joined a church youth group. She's going to church on Sundays. She invited me to church this Sunday. I'm not saying I'm going. I'm not saying I'm not going. And that's not because I'm religious. I'll say this. My 13-year-old niece, who I think is thriving, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of issues like with everything, right? Nothing's super easy, but I'm super proud of her. I watched her improvement in volleyball this year, which was tremendous. She's currently playing basketball. She's in band. She's in church youth group. Things could be a lot worse, right? You want to keep the kids as busy as possible. And the fact that, she's kind of doing the religious thing on her own, don't get me wrong. When she was younger, over the summers, there'd be like a little week-long camp with little lambs. Traditionally, basically, I was raised Christian. A big Christian Italian family on the side. So I'm happy about that. Yeah, no problem, Flick. No problem. I love Alex so much. Yes, they want immortality and they want a brave new world and clones and robots, but the system is too anti-human. It will eat itself. Jason, you should hit up Billy and Spud from War Mode and do a pod with them. Love you from New Hampshire. Don't know who they are. Never heard of them. I take vitamins as well. I need to do that a little bit more, actually. I remember Dolly the sheep. She didn't live very long. It's correct, but that was back in the 90s. And they've already been doing like clones of different type of cattle and different type of livestock. Very, I don't know. But doesn't Musk get huge government contracts? Is he going to cut any of that? No, I'm sure he's going to be a gravy train with biscuit wheels on that. Trump's son-in-law and husband to his precious daughter would literally give up his bed for baby. It's a real news story. And he's also the guy that says that he plans to live forever. His generation is going to be the first to live forever or the last to die. So he's got to stay in shape. No more money for COP29, just stealing from the pockets and cloud seeding and HARP, upper atmosphere heating, man-made by governments. Let's see. True that, Flick. I don't understand Musk and Neuralink, and I heard he wants to make techno wombs. I haven't seen that yet. So we don't need women to carry babies anymore. Seems demonic. Well, that's actually in the Martine Rothblatt book, Unzip Genes, Taking Charge of Baby Making in the New Millennium, all those kind of artificial pods. And if you haven't seen my latest transgender to transhuman presentation from the Reawaken America tour, I would encourage you to check it out. It's I wouldn't say it's super short, but it's much shorter than some of my other ones, and pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, Kushner is evil AF. Jason, you're looking great. Sorry for your loss. Well, thank you and thank you. Come on, do we really think Trump is going to deny his buddy Larry Blackrock Fink's agendas? Not necessarily, and he is. Let's see, Kamala or the left or right, Trump through Epstein, yes. That's it. We've done it. So, guys, been a while, right? I'm glad we could talk about this. Again, I'm hoping for a damages verdict in the civil case. I'm hoping that somehow, some way, this breaks into the United States in more of a... Because think about how controlled the media is. Yeah, it's the biggest sports star in the world, and really, when you're talking about combat sports in this country, period. Still, for no reason, just other than he has a name. And it's nowhere on the front pages. It's barely being discussed. Like, a lot of the headlines are suggesting that somehow he's innocent. Gross. I didn't talk enough about InfoWars, other than the fact that, look, these people are ridiculous. Like, free speech is free speech. You don't own Alex Jones. You don't own the InfoWar. You're only making them bigger and bigger and bigger. And if the details presented today are remotely true, there's a good chance that you lose in court. And then InfoWars is given back to Alex Jones. And that would be just like a boomerang back in your face. Support the broadcast down below. Share the links. Check out the documentaries for the films. You know the drill, guys. It is not about left or right. It is always about right and wrong. I absolutely love you all. We will see you all on the flip side.